Hi, Gene here with today's thought. My first thought, I have two thoughts. My first thought is you may not have seen yesterday's video. I hope you did. The reason is there's a little bit of a copyright dispute between YouTube and me, or actually the owner of a copyright and me. I believe I used it. I was commenting on the material. I consider that fair use. So yeah, my understanding is that the video is showing now for the next at least 7 days. During the 7 days period, the copyright owner has a chance to respond to my argument. So that's it. Now for today, the Democrats have been urging this is about the debt ceiling, raising the debt ceiling. The Democrats have been urging the president to invoke the 14th Amendment. I won't go into a lot of detail about the 14th Amendment, but a clause in that amendment says that the debt of the United States shall not be questioned. In other words, the debt must be paid. And their interpretation, the Democrats' interpretation of the 14th Amendment, is that if the Republicans and the Democrats can come to an agreement that the president can simply just raise the debt ceiling because we have to pay the debt, and the debt cannot be questioned. They're wrong. They're wrong, and that's why I think the Republicans should call their bluff or the president's bluff and say, go ahead, invoke the 14th Amendment, because this is the correct interpretation of the 14th Amendment, which is, well, you have to keep in mind the Constitution, division of powers, three branches of government. The president cannot spend money or borrow money without the authorization of Congress, period, end of story. So if we don't raise the debt ceiling and we don't have enough money to pay all of our obligations, what does that mean? It means what I just said. We don't have the money to pay all of our obligations. We'll have to cut spending somewhere, and I emphasize somewhere, or somewhere else, because under the 14th Amendment, the debt must be paid. The debt has priority. Plus, we do have enough cash coming in every month to pay the national debt, or to make the payments on the national debt, to pay the interest. The problem is, to do that, we will have to cut spending somewhere else. And that's what the situation is. So say, go ahead, Mr. President, and we can't agree, then it's up to you. You decide where you want to cut spending and be held accountable for that. And that's where the Republicans have to be very smart and say, we urge the president, here's our list of programs. Well, you can cut what we're offering already, or the houses, or you can cut spending that studying the sex lives of honeybees, building bridges to nowhere. You can cut that spending, or the $80 billion appropriated for COVID emergency relief, now that the president has officially signed the document that the emergency is over. So the emergency is over, we can, what they call, claw back $80 billion. So that's $80 billion right there. The point is, the president would have to cut spending, and the Republicans should hold him accountable if he deliberately cuts spending, and the spending that would be most visible and most affect the American people, which is another thing I suggest I don't know why the Republicans haven't done this already. They should pass a law saying, in the House where they have control, saying that when there's a disagreement on spending between the Congress, anywhere in the government, that between the president and the Congress, then the debt has a priority, other spending must be cut, and the president must cut the spending that would be least visible, least affect the American people, such as money that appropriated that hasn't been spent, or money we're spending. Not building the wall on the border is costing us more than building the wall would cost. So there's a solution right there. Build the wall, finish the wall, we save money there, because we're still paying the contractors and everything, and to store the materials that are not being put up, the fencing is there on the ground waiting to be used. So that's another spot, and that would actually help the country, beside more than just not hurting the country. But you see the point, but this is my main point, a great advantage for the Republicans, because once the president does that, if he does, then a Republican president in the future would have that very same power, and he could say, okay, when there's a disagreement, I'm the president, here's what I want to cut. I want to cut this, 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 and this. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to you don't want to raise the debt ceiling, whatever, then I'll just make the cuts myself, because under the 14th Amendment, I have to do it. I have no choice. And so that's why I say, go ahead, President Biden, invoke the 14th Amendment. It will go to the Supreme Court. I am sure they will make the conclusion reach the conclusion that I just stated. And then the only question is whether the president unilaterally cuts the spending, or whether the Treasury Department does it, the Secretary of the Treasury, or they have to negotiate. Either way, the point is, another main point is that Democrats love to spend money. Republicans want to cut spending. So invoking the 14th Amendment for every president going forward will hurt a Democratic president and will help a Republican president. Or put it another way, it will hurt a president that wants to continue to spend more and more, and it will help a president who wants to cut spending. And those are my multiple thoughts for the day. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would be great. Look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do, bye.